Girl. Sit down, girl. Go sit down, girl. We're going to start dishing days.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Well, hello, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's weekly recap of NBC's hit soap opera,
Hit!
Days of Our Lives.
Hit!
The number one NBC soap opera right now.
The only
one right now. Joining me today is the lovely and vivacious Tony Moore Pettis.
Hello, everyone. I am simply Tony Moore.
Pettis. And Neil the Wheel is filling in for
Neil the Wheel.
Alexis, till she can make her way to the booth. So
Yes.
Thank you, Neil the Wheel, for being here.
Thanks, Neil.
So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is just Dish and Days. Twitter is _Dish and Days. We have a Facebook page.
Instagram.
Tony uses it for Grindr. So there's all kinds of ways. Do we have a Dish and Days Snapchat?
You are spicy today.
We don't have a Dish and Days Snapchat.
We don't, because
we should have one.
You know, no. You know why we don't have a Snapchat? We can barely deal with the social media that we have now. And y'all just keep adding on social media. It's like, oh, we should do this.
Well,
oh,
we should at least
that.
have it. Whether we use it or not, doesn't matter, but we should have it.
Girl.
And then make sure you guys go to iTunes and rate us 5 stars. Yes, I said 5 stars. My guess is you'll probably be fan of the week. So, and thank you to everybody who has written reviews for us. We do greatly appreciate it. And we've read, I think, all of them on air. If by chance you wrote one and I didn't make you fan of the week, just tweet me and say, hey, Dumbo, you missed me. And my guess is you'll probably be fan of the week next week. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but
I have to give a little chuckle to Daquan, because you know how we always say, and follow us on Twitter @_Dish and Days. The @ is implied.
yeah.
Daquan goes, the Pettis is silent.
That's right, Daquan. That's right.
Oh, Daquan.
Oh,
Daquan.
We love her.
Okay.
And I call everybody her and she.
Yes.
So
it's appropriate.
Get over it, people.
Yeah.
Tony Moore, what did you think of this week's episodes of NBC's hit number one daytime soap opera,
Hit.
Days of Our Lives?
As someone tweeted to us, it was an info week. So I thought it was okay.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't like,
Yeah.
well, there was one part that I was like, oh, this is interesting. I hope they keep doing this.
When Dario took his shirt off.
So that I can be Tony Moore, Pettis.
Archie,
What's Jordy's last?
Jordy Vesuzio.
Yeah.
I have to say it together. I can't just say his last name.
Where did Archie come in?
Archie Lamone.
I know.
From
You know what?
several weeks ago when he was here and
People
he
get
drooled a little.
No more compliments from me. No more. No more compliments, Robbie.
For those of you that just listen to us and you don't get the pleasure of watching us on YouTube, take a moment to watch the Lamone Archie episode, because you can actually see drool coming out of Tony's mouth.
Like the drool that consistently comes out of your mouth with just one mention of
drool.
Billy Flynn.
I will admit that. I do drool.
Oh, well, we can't tell if it's Billy Flynn or just old age.
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. I will literally just be standing sometimes and I just start drooling. I wore a bib till I was 5. My mom was worried she was going to send me to kindergarten in a bib.
A lot.
Yeah,
Explains
I
a lot.
drool a lot.
And she still wears a bib.
Still does. Still does. Only when I eat lobster.
Oh, like you can afford lobster.
Imitation lobster.
Lobster adjacent.
Lobster adjacent.
Which is just fish.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, let's start.
All right.
It's now time to start Dish and Days.
Remember, you made me do it by myself last week.
Did I?
Yeah.
Lies.
And then we flipped that hourglass.
And forget
And then we
it.
never talk about it again.
Okay.
All right. So,
You got a lot here, lady.
well, I just put in a lot of notes because I didn't want to bring in more notes. So, But the top storylines I felt were like there were just three main people this week, and so everything kind of the main stuff kind of revolved around them. The first one being, of course, Sonny.
Oh my gosh.
Who at the end of last week and then again the beginning of this week confesses or he thinks.
Here's.
I think I did it. So will you please arrest me?
It's kind of like, why didn't he wait until he maybe actually had a memory of him
actually doing it?
Yeah, because just standing over Damos's body, he could have just stumbled in and kind of been like, what?
Yeah.
Who's this? I'm on Halo 2.0.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Deimos. Oh my goodness. You got what you deserve.
Right.
And then stumbled away and said,
well, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you.
Yeah. And then as he stumbled away, he was like, where's Paul?
Well, I should say, I don't think anybody non-Salemite is agreeing with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Justin asked Lucas to help distract Adrian, which I thought was an interesting scene. Because Adrian was getting so worked up about Sonny and everything.
And, okay, that little scene when Lucas walked in and saw Justin consoling Adrian, he had this look on his face as if like, oh my God, like I'm worried about him again.
Right.
But I almost kind of wish he had just kind of had this thought of, you know, they're always going to have that connection and they're always going to have that closeness, but I have no worries because...
That's how Gina is with me. It's true. She's just like, ugh, I'm just not going to even try.
Girl.
She is the Lucas to my Justin.
She won't get in the way of what you and Billy have.
Right, exactly.
Someone should.
There was a little so that was going on kind of at the station, and then JJ was released, and Reigns told him
stay away from the case.
Stay away from the case, at which in kind of like pig Latin me. Just do it behind my back. Do it like Hope does.
Oh, it's just kind of like, so when Hope and Rafe decided to dumpster dive, which
girl.
By the way, I just thought about this. They never changed clothes after that.
No, but they had on gloves.
But their whole bodies were in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Just a little note. So that's happening, and then Lonnie and JJ come up, and Rafe is all like, well, dive on in.
Yeah.
But then, like, later on, he was like, no, you know, you can't go talk to, you know, the custodian or whatever. And I'm just like, does anyone listen in Salem?
No. Especially not the police.
Like I almost kind of wish, you know, us being writers, I almost kind of wish that maybe he did this to get away. He went to the cafe and struck up a conversation with the waitress who used to work there and kind of stumbled upon the information.
Right.
And then Hope and Rafe came in, and then he's like, I'm not doing anything with the case, but this information just fell in my lap.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say we'd be better writers. That's what we've learned from this.
Listen, I can tell you,
this show, we have learned.
I can tell you two things. One, Maxine would be back and I would play her son.
Right.
And two, there would be a drag bar.
Gay. And into drag queens. Sorry, Gina.
I think another, like, you know what? There would be a drag bar where a drag queen is infatuated with Chad, almost like a Susan Banks.
So when you see her, because you know those behind the bushes where you see him and you see the hair and you see it, so you're like, oh, it's a girl, and then this lovely lady dances.
And it's like wah 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 wah.
Oh shoot! Oh, we're going down that road.
Oh my God.
So. Yeah. Oh, wait. You just said something that I was like, we should talk about that because I don't think I put it in the
So I said dumpster dive. I rewrote JJ going
JJ's
to
thing.
and then the waitress and the custodian.
Right. I don't know.
Okay. It'll come back to you.
It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
And then they did find a phone charger and I
Dirty
meant to write
magazine?
down the name of the magazine because it was kind of. But I have to give them credit for this.
Is it Busty Boobs or
Busty
something
Boobs
like that?
monthly or something?
Yeah.
It's something monthly. Everything's monthly.
Yeah.
Mike, we get it. It's a magazine. It's monthly. I mean, if it was quarterly, I would let you say it, but we're just going to assume it's monthly.
And it's a special magazine. It's very hard to get a subscription.
Clearly. But I have to give them some credit that they used the magazine that they had used in a previous episode, and I don't know if that was planned at the time they originally wrote it, or if they were just like, hey, let's use that same magazine. I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah.
Whether it's Xander or not, I don't know, but
Well, then
I think Xander's going to be the go-to from now.
Well, no, they thought it was Xander, and then Hope checked, and Xander is still in the jail.
Right.
Yeah.
So couldn't have been.
So it's not Xander.
Somebody who stole his magazine.
But good try.
Right. And then Uncle Vic and Ari at some point both came to see Sonny.
Oh, and Gabby.
Well, yeah, she brought Ari.
Yeah.
And
the waiter.
The cater waiter saw him.
The what?
Cater waiter. The cater waiter.
You know what? And I just realized, I was like, didn't this happen like a few weeks ago?
What?
The Halo and the drug and everything?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, it's just the next day.
Right. It's Salem.
I was like, they were like yesterday, and I was like, girl, it's only a day later?
Yeah.
I thought this was like a week later.
Yeah. You know what the thing is for me is I always notice, I'm like, oh, they're still in the same clothes.
I don't think it ever dawns on me until someone says like, well, this was yesterday. And I was like, girl.
Yeah.
And then, well, kudos to the waiter for getting his little mini role. And remembering that Sonny stood over Damos's dead body and said, you got what you deserve. And that was enough to lock him up and book him and all of that kind of stuff.
And I feel like it's well, whatever, it's Salem, so that's... but that was the most, because nothing really happened with any of that, but it was just kind of a lot of talking about what happened. And there were more flashbacks. Other people had other flashbacks. But it's all the stuff that we've seen.
It's still the same.
It's all the stuff we saw the day that it happened.
Yeah.
Now we're just seeing it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Other person who had a big week was Kayla.
Yeah.
Big week. Multiple storylines, actually. As I was doing it, I'm like, oh, actually, there's multiple things that were happening. Because it started off, which I thought was the hands-down best part of the week, was the Steve and Kayla going into Angelica's room. Hands down. Them getting up from her reaction to him like, come on, you're going with me, like, where am I going?
We're going to neutralize the situation. And everyone's like, neutralize.
So it started with that scene where they go into Angelica's
hotel
room. She's dressed as the maid. They're trying to look for stuff to find out what she's up to.
Well,
they find out that she may have another kid.
Yes. Well, they think maybe she might have adopted another kid. I just like Kayla's reaction. Like, what are we gonna do? You mean we broke in here and you don't have a plan?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we looking for? And it's almost kind of like she's like I imagine her going, Steve, you didn't even plan this. What are we doing? I'm already in enough trouble as it is.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved the whole scene. I loved Angelica's shoes.
Oh, I know.
They were pretty fabulous.
You know what?
Tweet her too.
There was a moment where I was like, did Morgan Fairchild approve the shot of her feet?
Oh, I'm sure she did. And I'm sure she picked those shoes. It's like, she is not going to do a True O'Brien.
And die in sad shoes.
And die in... why am I forgetting the character name all of a sudden?
Paige.
Oh my God. Sorry. Just totally blanked.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was it. So then the next thing that happens is Kayla gives Tripp study books for the MCAT because she really thinks that he should be a doctor. She loves it. Da, da, da. Steve's supporting it. Blah 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 blah. Then after they discuss all this, she goes to leave the hospital, and then the I don't know. I'm gonna call him the chairman of the board. I don't know who he is. Tells her that she's gonna be on paid leave because they found another incident in her with one of her patients. And then Steve, after she talks to him and everything, and she comes home and tells Steve decides to start investigating.
Yes.
This whole situation, because he's starting to think somebody's up to this because. Oh really? Oh, that's your phone, huh?
I should probably go.
Do you need to
turn
do
it
that?
on. Talk, and they'll put the camera, on you,
me,
and then I'll ease out,
and you sneak over to your phone that you should have shut off minutes ago, and you take care of that like the unprofessional co-host that you are. So Steve wants to investigate, figure out what's going on. He just thinks it's fishy that all of a sudden all this stuff is happening, and that Kayla doesn't know anything about it, and like she's, all that stuff. So he's doing it, and I don't like that Nurse Shelley.
Oh, that Nurse Shelley has an attitude.
Yeah.
Well, also, okay, there's another thing that I noticed too. When Kayla was talking to Seth, like I couldn't tell what his authority was because the way that she was talking to him, it didn't seem like he had any authority over her. But then when this guy came in, it was a completely different tone. And so it almost made me feel like Seth was kind of like
Seth?
The first guy that came and confronted Kayla about the death.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then this guy maybe over both of them. I don't know. It just all seems so blah. And then she's working at the Brady Pub.
And so then she took a job at the Brady Pub. She filled in for Roman. And then the other thing that happened this week, which I thought was another great moment this week, was Kayla, and because she went to Val to talk to her about what was going on. And then Val's like, come on, you need a girls' night out. So she takes her out, and they hook out with Marlena and Kate, and they have a girls' night. That was amazing.
You know, I honestly, that was the moment where I was like, I kind of wish they did these gatherings more often. Where like, because in Salem, they all know each other.
Like, oh, I'm tired of them.
Well, no, not all the time, but it's just nice to see characters interacting with each other in a more relaxed setting, kind of going over like what's happening in a very real way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I wish that it didn't feel so rushed. Like I kind of wish they just let that whole thing kind of play out for like an episode and a half, where they just kind of sat there and they chilled and they drank and they were able to kind of go over stuff. And I would have been completely down for that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun scene. They were having fun.
Yeah.
I was having fun watching it. I love that there was someone in the kitchen who got hurt, and the guy came over and was like, I heard there might be a doctor here.
But then when they got up, it was like, there's two. I was thinking like...
No, there's three. I think
there was three.
Said
yeah,
three of us.
He was like, well, actually, there's three. But Valerie and
Kayla
went.
Yeah.
But then
Marlena was too drunk.
Well, my first thought was, so are Valerie and Kayla. Because as soon as Kayla got back to the table, she was like, "Can I have some more?"
Well, a drunk doctor would do better than a sober non-physician. In theory, I guess.
What do you think about going back to the whole Tripp thing? Like, what do you think about all of that? Like,
well, and the other thing that we found out this week, which is tied into this, is that Jade is leaving, and I do believe she's leaving the show. This was her last week.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. I just, when I was looking for news and gossip stuff, stumbled upon it. So I think this was her last week, which kind of surprised me. But
is anyone...
Well, I don't think anyone's upset about it. Well, here's what I did, and I almost tweeted this out this week, too. I thought about tweeting a lot. I didn't tweet a lot. I thought about tweeting a lot. I am officially 100% hands down # Team Tripp. I love him. Mm-hmm. I like the character. I like Lucas. I think I'm invested in his story.
Yes.
And I think he's doing a fantastic job. I know that I said I liked him before, like I was, but I'm 100% behind him now. I was probably 83% behind him last time.
Yeah, I mean, this whole storyline of him getting back at Kayla was kind of like, no, don't do it. But I like seeing the battle that he has now as he's getting to know them, and also realizing that maybe he's not being told the whole truth. There's just a lot going on. But I do like the character of Tripp.
I do like it, and I mean, I like the story. I don't hate it. I mean, I actually am paying attention when stuff's going on. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's Kayla and Steve, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're handling it well. I think it's good. I like it. Are you saying you don't?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I think I like the way it's kind of playing out.
Yeah.
And then I can kind of see them hopefully keeping the character of Tripp around and him becoming another doctor.
Yeah. 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 And I actually liked the scene too with Joey and Steve, when Joey was talking about being a little jealous of Tripp.
Yeah.
And that he's, potentially going to be a doctor, and he's good at this and he's good at that, and he feels a little, I just thought that was an interesting scene, and something I just kind of caught me off guard.
Well, because before Tripp, he couldn't compare himself to someone because Stephanie's not there. She's off doing whatever Stephanie's doing. And then, so it's just him. So he kind of can be a little lackadaisical about stuff, and he doesn't really seem to have interest in things or whatever. And then Tripp comes along and he's like smart and like, wanting to follow the stuff with Kayla and all this. And now he's just kind of like, oh, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
Jasmine Rantisi wrote, when I found out that Jade was leaving, I read three Bible verse and shouted, "Thank you, Jesus."
Ha, Jasmine. I honestly, and this is no shade to the girl who currently plays Jade.
I'm drawing a blank on her name now too.
Is it Gabrielle?
Gabriella,
I
think.
It's no shade to her. I just feel like Paige brought something to that character that could have been so interesting had she just stayed.
Yeah. Well, she,
gone. Yeah. I mean, we all make choices,
right?
But I just.
Okay, and I'll say this again. I don't hate Jade. I don't hate the new Jade. I think that the story just kind of when it switched Jades, it just kind of lost its oomph.
Yeah.
And you kind of just stopped caring about the character.
Taylor Jones says, "I don't understand what Tripp is doing." Well, let's do a quick recap for Taylor.
Okay.
Basically, Jade told Tripp that Kayla was responsible for killing Ava. We all know that that's not true.
Right.
So Tripp is trying to get back at Kayla by doing all the switches of the dosages and the charts and all that kind of stuff to get her in trouble and ruin her whole medical career. However, he is starting to realize that maybe she's not like that and maybe having a change of heart on Kayla. And that's why Tripp is doing that. Boom.
And that has been brought to you by Tony Moore.
Thank you. So yeah.
Yeah. And then, that was the Kayla stuff. And then the third person I think that had a big week was Abigail.
Yes. Oh, did we mention the kiss that Jade and Tripp had?
We didn't. We did not. I think I might have wrote it down at the bottom, but
that was quite some kiss, though.
No, I didn't. They.
It's an interesting kiss.
Mm-hmm. On her way out.
I'm waiting to see Patch's investigation and to see if they come across that it's Tripp who's been changing it and how that's all going to play out.
See, the only reason I'm a little surprised that Jade is leaving is I was thinking everything that I was seeing it like Tripp, because they kept showing Tripp kind of having a conscience, that he kind of would stop and then she would kind of jump in. And
then
she would kill somebody, and then it would be this thing, and then she would get arrested or something because she was the one who did it. Because I don't see them doing that with Tripp. So that kind of surprised me that they're not utilizing her in that regard. But maybe
We're not writers.
Maybe they have something else exciting planned.
Maybe. All right, moving on
To Abigail. Abigail Dario kind of was well, at the beginning of the week, this is the thing that, and I'm actually, I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth. I'm actually glad about something that Rafe said.
Which was?
When he was talking to Dario, and he was like, don't forget, she doesn't love you. This is a marriage of convenience. And I was like, thank you for saying, because it's almost, to me, a waste of time to show these flashbacks and love things. I mean, I get it. He's in love with her, so he's going to be having them. But it's like, you can't honestly think that you're going to end up, you tricked her into marrying you, and that she's just going to fall in love with you because you did that. Like, that doesn't even, regardless of whether you got her to marry you or not, it's not going to, like, it's not going to change the way she feels about you.
It's not. And
especially when she finds out why.
And now it's kind of becoming a little creepy because I kind of liked the pairing of Abigail and Dario.
Me too.
In the very beginning.
Me too.
Now he's a little too pushy, and he's a little, it's now becoming like girl that like maybe if you just kind of played it cool, like, all right, thanks Abigail, and then just kind of, and then maybe she would just kind of see how you are and kind of like this whole idea, and then you all just kind of fell in love. But he's so pushy with everything.
And here's the thing is too, and I think this is a mistake that they've made, is that I feel like regardless of whether he made it up or not, the fact that he needed to do this to stay in the country or whatever. Because if you go like this, say we don't know that. Say it's never revealed to the audience that that's the case. And him and Abigail, we see this, he tells her, I have to get married to stay in the country. What am I going to do? I have to find somebody, blah, blah. Then she voluntarily says, okay, as soon as I'm going to do this. And he's like, really? Wow. And he plays it coy. He plays it like where she's almost the one saying, well, should we go on a honeymoon? Should we do this? Should we do that? And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, we're just faking this. It's actually going to help us as viewers like them together more than it is with him being devious. Because as soon as he became devious, I think we all went off. Nope. And we're like,
Yeah.
And I think had they done it that way where we didn't even know that it was fake, and that, that they actually do start falling in love, and they do start getting genuinely closer because of this game that they're playing, that it even surprises him, then he's tormented because she's about to find out what he actually did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just would take that to a whole nother level.
A whole different level.
A whole nother level.
Yeah. I don't know.
And you guys can write in the chat room now how much you agree with me. Insert wonderful comments now.
It's just become too much. Now I'm just like, Dario, girl, like, calm down. Calm it down.
Calm it down. It's a little too much. It is a little too much.
Oh, because even like, okay, when the immigration guy came over,
right,
and he was like, "Oh, you're really great with Thomas." And he was like, "Oh yeah, and we're hoping to have another one of our own." She was like, girl. I'm just gonna say, and she turned into Pageant Patty real quick. World peace.
World peace.
Yeah. And even when the next day at breakfast, and he tried to like go in for a kiss, and she's like, I was like, you go, girl. Yeah.
Oh, so he's getting your You Go Girl award?
I don't have a You Go Girl award. Is there a You Go Girl award?
There is a You Go Girl award. And so speaking of the immigration officer, he ends up basically believing them because he knows Abe, and he believes that Abe would never be a part of something that was underhanded.
And as soon as he said that, I thought to myself, girl, when this all unravels, I hope everybody who was a part of it doesn't go down too.
Yeah.
Especially Abe,
the
mayor.
Well, but they didn't know.
Right.
So, And then the morning, Abigail has breakfast with Jennifer, who is very suspicious of Dario. And she expresses her concerns, and Abigail kind of defends him. But then, fast forward to later in the week, she's becoming increasingly more suspicious.
Mm-hmm. So is Abigail.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant June.
Yeah. Well, I said at first Abigail was defending him, but then she became more suspicious later. And she tries to look through his laptop. She, is going through drawers and stuff like that throughout the ending part of the week.
Pause. Mm-hmm. Jeanne says, I think the immigration man is fake, and I thought the same thing too. The immigration man?
Oh, like the Dario.
Like Dario hired him.
To pretend.
Yeah. Well, duh. Well, now that makes sense because the whole thing is fake anyway.
Well, the wedding's fake, not him being not.
He ain't being deported.
Well, he does. He actually can stay. He didn't need to get married.
Oh. I must have.
But he was supposed to be deported.
I must have missed that with Hope's no to Rafe.
Yeah.
You missed that. You missed what I said.
Yeah, I tuned you up.
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. I said I must have missed that along with Hope's no to Rafe.
But as Vanessa said, a non-answer is a no. Thank you very much. Right. And then what else? Abigail. So then Abigail finds the counterfeit money or something. She finds money. And he says that it's money from TBD. But I love that she was like, "Girl, you just sent people home the other day. You ain't making no money." So,
Her suspicions are up.
B rhymes with itch. I ain't falling for that. Yeah.
She I ain't having it.
And then Abigail also talks to Eric about everything, her suspicions and stuff too. So.
But the main person,
And then at the end of the week,
girl.
How it ended.
Girl.
She said,
"Remember when?
I need your help.
Remember when you told me that I can always count on you for help? I need your help." I was like, "Ooh, Andre and Abigail are back again,
back in business."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so funny because I never really do this, but did you see the preview for next week?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I almost brought it.
I
was going to have them maybe play it.
I sometimes
at
watch
the end.
it.
Only reason I thought about playing it was because it's the ending of Dina's writing. So that's kind of why I thought about bringing it and playing it. But whatever, we don't have to watch it. But look it up because it was kind of interesting. Because it's all about Abigail and Dario and what's happening next. So some tidbits. Claire and Theo get new jobs.
But Miss Claire girl. Oh, Miss Claire girl.
Well, it was so funny because as soon as it cut to her and she was in the waitress outfit, I was like, wait a minute. Didn't we just have a conversation that she got a job at the hospital? So I was so confused, but at least they said...
what did they say?
Well, they didn't have a conversation about the fact that she got a new job. See, at least they were talking about her getting a new job. Because I was like, okay, so they're going to talk about it. They're not just going to pretend like she's been a waitress all this time and that scene of her in the hospital in Scrubs didn't happen.
But I love that she's just so clumsy and she just fimmels through everything. And then it was kind of...
And then she got in trouble for doing a selfie in the kitchen.
And then when the girl was like, "You've never," she's like, "Well, technically at the Brady pub," and that girl was like, "Girl," you could just see it in her face, like, "Girl, I cannot deal with you right now. I cannot deal."
Yeah, she was not having her.
Yeah. No. So good for Claire for having a job.
And
you know what? I was actually surprised that Theo was willing to join Demera Enterprises.
I'm not.
Well, only because, they don't have the best reputation. It's kind of, evil.
Well, so does Salem PD.
But I love that he's like this tech guy and that he's gonna be a part of Demera and that he obviously has a way better job than Claire, and Claire's like great and has her little fit.
Right.
I was scared to give Kyler any more praise, and because you may take that the wrong way.
Well, I'm not going to take it the wrong way. I would never do that.
Okay.
And since we're on the subject of the love of your life,
I beg your pardon, madam.
I'm going to now express my disdain for the fact that I think Chad Demare was only on one episode this week.
Oh, God.
I literally actually almost tweeted out about him not being on this week because I couldn't, it took me forever to remember, but then I was like, oh no, he offered Theo the job.
Yes.
So he was in that scene, and he actually had sex with Gabby because there was a scene of them in bed and in one of the episodes too. So there was a little bit of that going on, but I was just like, it literally, I had to go, oh, he was on. That's unacceptable.
I see no problem.
Interesting.
I see no problem with it at all. Sometimes I feel like Chad just needs to
Wear less clothing.
just do stuff off camera and let us see what other people are doing. He can't be on there all the time, girl.
Yes, he can.
He can't be on there
Yes,
all
he
the
can.
time, girl.
Yes,
I mean,
he can,
that
girl.
will take away from other characters like, just putting names out there, Hope or Rafe or Jen or Ann Milbauer. Girl, I forgot all about her.
I know, she popped into Salem. That was one of my tidbits too. She popped into Salem this week.
When she popped in, I was like, oh, girl, yeah, she's
in
still
typical
there.
Anne fashion, tells Adrian, hey, can you get a story from Sonny?
She is thinking about the job, honey. She's like, listen, I understand this is your boo, but this is news, and we are here to report the news. So if you want Salem Spectator to be on top of it, honey, we need to get that cover story.
Right. And then the only other thing really that happened this week, which actually I guess was a little bit bigger than just a tidbit, but a lot of it was exposition, that stuff that we knew. But Eric and Nicole,
yes,
kind of reminisce about what happened again.
Yes.
And then Nicole doesn't want to make the same mistake she made last time, and she tells Brady that she kissed Eric.
Can I ask
thinking
you,
it was Dr. Dan.
What did you think of Brady's reaction to it?
I thought it was very over the top. Like, I thought it was just very... I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I was just like, that just seemed a little too upset.
Yes. And when it was happening, I almost wanted him to have an understanding of, okay, I understand that you got... Like, almost kind of like, it's a red flag, but I'm going to give you this pass because you were on Halo.
Right.
But not the being so upset because, and I felt the reason why he was so upset was because he knew that she really longed for him at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same situation of when they were stuck in the heat and vent and all that kind of stuff. However, I feel like this woman has said she this man.
Right.
So you kind of have to give a pass, but keep that good eye on him. And be like, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it's a little too much. And I'm glad he finally came around and was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at first I was like, oh, girl,
Yeah.
too much, girl.
Yeah. But he did at the end, go, I've been an ass. I think actually even use that word. Actually, I don't think he did because it's NBC. But I got way too upset about this, and I need to let this go.
Yes.
So that's kind of how it ended. And that was the week. And I have to say, I'm just going to add this in there real quick because this is more of a comment than something that happened. Is I love that they're utilizing Greg Vaughn.
Yes.
The scenes he was in scenes with Jade. He was in scenes with obviously with Nicole. Scenes with Abigail. Like he's not just in one scene with one person for the week. So thank you, Days of Our Lives, for giving us more Greg Vaughn.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And I do believe it is now time for our segments.
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned segments because now it's time for Tony's official
You go, girl!
Oh, snap!
It's now time for Tony's official
Oh, snap!
3 Snaps Award. Okay, I got it. Okay, so I have to give it to the girls' night. Hands down, that was such an amazing scene to see 4 strong women of Salem getting white girl wasted over their problems. And I love how just like honest and true they were. Like Marlena was like, basically could have just said, girl, John's gone again. I don't know when we gonna get married.
Yeah.
And then Kate's like, girl, I got married and I don't even know why. And I'm married to someone that everybody hates. And Valerie's just like, well, girl, everything in my life is just fine. And then Kayla's like, yeah, I'm in trouble. You know, so it was just such a real moment and a real gathering. And I love that Kate kind of spearheaded everything and was the drunkest of everyone. They all fought over who's supposed to pay the bill.
Yeah.
It was just great. I just wish they had expanded it a little more. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to the 4 lovely ladies of Days of Our Lives, Kate, Valerie, Kayla, and Marlena. You get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award
Oh, snap!
for
Does that
Girls
mean I can
Night.
get white girl wasted too?
Yes!
sure can. You sure
Alexis
can.
is back with us, ladies and
Hello.
gentlemen.
Yes.
I'm excited to finish up a show, but I am here for the rest of the night.
Thank you.
Well, Alexis, you are more than welcome to get white girl wasted at
Yes.
any time. Anytime. Because I know you are going through the stresses, honey.
3 weeks, y'all. 3 weeks.
Oh my God, 3
3
weeks until you're going to be married?
Yeah, August 6th. It's literally 3 Sundays from now.
Oh
Wow.
my God. You're going to get married on a Sunday?
Yeah, sadly enough, because it was the cheapest day.
Atta girl.
Sorry.
Well, maybe we should wear like bouquets or something, or veils
Okay.
in honor of Alexis and
That'd be
Neil.
nice. I have a bunch of extra ones from my bachelorette party.
Oh, you know what? We'll bring them in Sunday and we'll wear them on the 16th.
Well, she won't be here.
I will
Huh?
totally do that.
She won't be here.
Next
no,
Sunday?
like next Sunday. I will
okay.
bring
No,
it.
next Sunday she'll bring
Yeah.
them, so that way we have them in the locker and we'll wear them in honor of Alexis
Okay.
and Neil. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay, perfect. Next, we have
Mark's quote of the week.
Oh my God, that came in so loud and clear.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
good.
Yeah, I
It.
think they turned it up this time.
I like it. I like it a lot.
My quote of the week is, how do I say this?
Billy Flynn?
Well, no. He was only on one. It's actually a conversation. So it's not just one line. It was part of one of the, it wasn't the girls' night out. It was part of the Steve and Kayla in the hotel room. It was a moment from that it was just so cute, and it just was like the best part of the week. So
Yes.
here's how the conversation went. Kayla sneezed, and Steve says, "Those allergies kicking up again?" Kayla says, "No, it just reeks in this room. Angelica must put her perfume on with a giant pesticide sprayer or something." Steve says, "Oh yeah? It takes a lot of scent to cover the stink of a rotting soul." And then Kayla says, "Ooh, look at you, Mr. Johnson, a little poet." And he says, "What can I say? She inspires me." So that is my quote of the week. It's their whole conversation, but it was just so cute. And I went back and listened to it again. It was just such a cute moment, and it was funny, and hands down the best part of the week for me.
I like it.
So Steve and Kayla, Stella gets my quote of the week.
Stella.
And then for fan of the week, I stumbled across this tweet the other day, and of course it made me giggle. So Marsha Tellini, overtired mommy too,
Overtire mommy too.
as her Twitter. And I don't know if I tweeted something. I just took a screenshot of what she wrote. But I'm so ready to throw my remote at Rafe and Hope. Please spare us. And I felt her frustrations. And there have been many times I wanted to throw the remote, and I refrained. So, Marsha, you and I will just sit and hold our remote and pretend we're throwing it. But Marsha Tellini, Overtired Mommy 2, you are my fan of the week for making me giggle. Thank you so much.
Love it.
And now it's time for some news and gossip.
Yes. Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right. So I don't know if some of you guys saw this. Martha Madison, Belle Black, joined One House Hospitality as their West Coast recruiter recently. She tweeted about it and everything. Absolutely, Tony. Absolutely. So she's doing that, I guess, on the side because I know she's still doing Ladies of the Lake and other stuff and all that kind of good stuff. So,
Listen, Mama got a family, so she got to keep them bills coming in. Yeah.
And then I stumbled across something else, which I mean, the video's out there. It was actually on Soap Hub. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Eric Martzoff made a video plea to Jen Lilly to come back to Days of Our Lives. And Jen actually responded in a tweet. So it was a cute exchange.
What did Jen say?
Hold on, let me see if they have it here. They do have it. Hold on, let me just switch screens here real quick because I know her tweet is listed here. Jen Lilly answers Eric Martzoff's pleas as she returns. Her tweet said, hold on, where is it? Here it is. When the love of your TV life pleads for you to return to the show, oh, Eric Martzoff, I would come back for you. Hashtag Days Soap Hub.
Oh.
So.
But she's a busy lady.
One can dream, one can hope.
One can dream, but she is so busy right now. Like, she's doing 3 movies.
Yeah.
Like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, you have something coming up.
Yes. I am going to be on, is it
Liaison
Radio on August 11th.
Okay.
So make sure you guys tune in to that. When the time comes, we'll send out the link and all that kind of stuff. But I was very honored to be asked. I know that you and James have been on there before.
Yeah, it's fun.
And finally, I've gotten asked. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna
save the best for last.
Way to cover that up.
So I'm gonna go again.
So thank you to the folks over at Liaison Radio, and make sure you guys tune in on August 11th.
Yeah.
And now, Mark.
What?
Now, what are you gonna be doing?
I am doing something too.
Well, bet you by golly, wow.
Some of you who watch Young and the Restless probably watched our Restless Roundup.
Restless wrap up.
And Alexander Rodriguez, who used to be a host on there, also has his own podcast called On the Rocks. And he's asked me to come and be a part of that on Tuesday.
This Tuesday
At 7 o'clock. So I'm going to leave the theater and scurry over to Sunset Gower Studios and do his show.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I don't have a link. He said he was going to send me the information on how to watch or listen and all that stuff tonight. So once I have that, I will definitely share it.
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll tune in.
Okay.
I'll let you do this next one.
Alrighty, I was hoping you would.
And that's great.
And
So
for those-
just so you guys know, the new writing will start this week, July 19th. The new writing on Days will start. So
Ron Carlovetti.
yes, and that's all the news and gossip
Now,
we have.
one more thing.
Oh.
One more little tidbit. So those of you who follow Billy Flynn on Instagram saw that he tweeted the other day that his new
that is beautiful.
thriller,
Congratulations, Billy.
Dead on Arrival, Blood River, is coming out soon. I did text him today and ask. They do not have a date, but he said stay tuned. If you want more information and want to know when it's coming on, follow on Instagram, Dead on Arrival _film on Instagram. And I'm sure they will be posting all that. When
You know the
it's
first
available.
person who started following that?
Dead on Arrival?
Yeah. Mark Freeman. The first one. And also, you guys, tickets are still available for the Dual Coast event happening in August, on August 26th. Make sure you go to dualcoastevents.com. You can join me along with Eric Martzoff, Rob Wilson, Vincent Irizarry, James Reynolds, Judy Evans.
Where is it, Boston?
And Billy Flynn. And Boston.
Boston. Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Boston.
I'm not going to tell you again to just come.
Yeah.
You should. Just come.
I should.
Just come.
August what?
26. It's a Saturday.
August 20. Oh. Can I go? What closes on the 27th? So closing weekend's okay. All right. I'll think about it.
Such a-
my theater mind is
Such a
going-
busy
yeah,
lady.
yeah,
Such
yeah,
a
yeah.
busy lady.
Because all my jobs.
Right.
And I guess we'll take some phone calls now, since we have some time. Right?
Sure.
You want to? Oh, Tony doesn't want to.
I mean, we only have like a few minutes.
Well, we can take a couple.
Let's take a couple.
Are we? Yeah, she's turning it on. What is the
Oh.
phone number?
424-253-0749. Again, that's 424-253-0749.
That's wonderful. I don't even need to put this up anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, and as soon as we're connected, we'll let you guys try and call in take a couple at least, since
Yeah.
we got some time, and
Hello.
James Lott Jr. hasn't barged in yet.
He's about to.
So
I'm waiting for it.
I know,
feel it.
it's just a matter of time.
He's not here yet. So
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Actually,
I
you
haven't
know
heard the
what?
laugh.
he might not be here today.
No, I think he is in,
Oh,
isn't
is
he?
he? I have no
I
idea.
Should be.
think so.
All right, you're up. So whenever they start calling,
All
We'll
right,
take
guys.
it.
So the phone number again is.
424-253-0749. Again, that's 424-253-0749.
Why don't you put that in the chat room too,
Oh, that'll be smart.
in case they can't write that
it's
fast?
up on the camera.
I
okay,
have
great.
to. Oh yeah, there it is. I have to say, you guys should definitely follow our Instagram, because what I've been doing is each week, I like every day I try to make sure I post. And one of the things that I do like is on Thursdays, I'll give like a tidbit about a past storyline. So like this week, I posted the picture of Sammy and Kate, the famous portrait.
Infamous portrait.
Yes. The week before was about Swamp Girl and Princess Greta
I
von
saw that.
Emberg. And then before that, there was the Jungle Madness one. So that it's a lot of fun. So you guys should like pay attention to that. I appreciate that.
Meredith.
caller.
Oh, we have a caller. All right, let's do it. Let's see who's calling us. Hello, caller. No, we
Nope.
lost it. We lost it.
Oh, we
I was like, I thought it went
lost
behind the
it.
other one.
Yeah.
Meredith Cox says, "Thanks, Mark and Tony, for suffering through days these past few months to update us, as I had to peace out. Can't wait for Ron's writing to start."
All right, now we got to call.
There we go. All right, you're on with Mark and Tony. Give us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey guys, it's Jamel from Brooklyn.
Hi,
Hey Jamel, how you doing? As he writes
Doing
Jamel.
good.
How's it going? What did you think about days this week?
You know, I think I agree with both of you on this week, actually. With the two, that's why I called in, 'cause I was watching. I was like, oh, my God, they're going right to things I was sort of thinking about this week. First, I want to say to Mark what you were saying about Dario going to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have started off slow and, you know, made it more romantic. Or even, like you said, made a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be so serious. Like, you know,
Mhm.
she already, the character already went through such a ordeal,
Right.
so we don't need to have another intense moment. So I think
Exactly.
that you're right about that.
Yep.
And I think they missed the mark with that. Because again, I'm thinking Class of General Hospital, they would have two characters who weren't doing anything. They sit in the bar somewhere and say, "Why don't we get married?" And then it start off like a cute little thing that happens.
Yeah.
And you know, it may not have worked out, but they end up being friends. So I think that they could have did that. And then with Tony, what you were saying about the girls, the ladies who lunch, you
The girls'
understand,
night?
they were out. Yes, they were out there lunching and doing it, and I love that you gave us, you know, a lot of moments to them today, because I think that I agree with you that it could have went a little longer. Again, I go right back to General Hospital. I was thinking at first got into the soaps, I watched General Hospital, and I remember the characters over there was Felicia and Bobby, and they would have conversations in their living room for about 2 days, and I lived for it.
Yeah.
I mean, they would sit talk about their children. They'd talk about what they were going through, and you know, they would. And the whole show went revolved around them. Maybe they have two scenes, but it was so good because it was naturalistic. They would drink coffee and just conversate. And I miss that in some of these shows that they have on now, that they don't know how to pace out the things.
Mhm.
So that you were spot on, that it could have been paced out a little bit, and you know, could have been, they could have let that scene breathe, basically.
Well, and the more I was thinking about it too, a lot of this I thought of after the fact too was just because Dina's writing's coming to an end, so I don't know how much of it was like, I don't know how that works. So do they go to her and say, hey, we need to, if you're going to do something with this, you need to do it, or you need to figure out a way to make this something that the other writer can deal with. So maybe it was sped up more than she had anticipated, but that being said, it still could have been done better.
Yeah, and it ultimately turned out it was pretty delightful, because with all those like A-list ladies, you couldn't go wrong with the chemistry, because they all, like, you know, at the top of the game. So
Yeah.
it was still cute, very, very, very cute scene. But I was just shocked because I was watching today, and then y'all both was hitting straight on, with the things that I was thinking about. Especially when Tony was saying about that scene could have been a day or two.
Yeah.
So I had to call real fast just to say I was agreeing with you through the computer. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
That's it.
Thank you, Jamel.
Well, thank you, Jamel.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hold it down in Brooklyn.
I do. I always do, honey. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
take
Jamel.
care.
Bye.
All right, next call.
Looks like we have another one.
We do. I will say, someone did say that we should get Paul Telfer in here, and we should.
We should get him back. I don't know if he's still in town, but
Yeah, we'll figure
you're
it out.
on with Mark and Tony. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Lisa. I'm calling from Georgia.
Hey,
Hi,
Lisa from
Lisa.
Georgia.
How are y'all tonight?
We good. How
Good.
you doing?
I am good. I was so hoping that Jade was going to tell Tripp the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That was real close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, and they waited till the last second, as always, on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do y'all think, how do you think Steve's going to handle that when he finds out the truth?
Oh,
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. The thing is, we have to remember too is regardless of when he finds out it's Tripp, we have to remember that Jade is the catalyst. So it's
Yes.
not like
Exactly.
he just came into town and was attacking Kayla. I think there's going to be a little bit of understanding on Steve's part that Jade facilitated the hatred of his towards Kayla.
yeah.
So
And
I said
especially after
facilitated.
they know firsthand how Jade is. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think there might be a little understanding, seeing as how it is his mother, and so of course the whole reason why he's kind of back is to really find out what happened, and so there is going to be some sort of resentment. But I think it can go one of two ways. I either think A, they'll be fine, or B, it'll all explode, and he actually does learn that Joey is the one that actually killed Ava and not Kayla or
Yeah.
Steve. So we'll just
It'll
have
be
to,
interesting, yes.
It will be.
For
we'll have to
sure.
wait and see.
For sure.
Wait and see. All speculation right now.
But Tony, I was watching Pretty Woman when you were watching Pretty Woman.
Oh, you were? Oh my gosh! So last night on E, Pretty Woman came on, and I caught like the tail end of it. And I put on my Snapchat. I'm not on my Snapchat. On my Insta story, the part where he climbed up and went, and she came down, and he was like, "So what did the princess do when the prince came up and rescued her?" And then she was like, "She rescued him right back." And I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
That movie never gets old.
It never gets old. It's such a classic. I love that movie. And then I love how right after that, it's like, "Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream? Everybody has a dream. This is Hollywood." That's my favorite part. Oh, I'm glad you were watching it too, Lisa.
That's it, yep. And also, that was a cute video, Mark, that you made of your little two dogs.
Oh.
That was so sweet.
I woke up early one
Baxton
morning,
and
yeah.
Baxter and Montgomery, right?
Winston Montgomery and Baxter Alexander. Yes.
Look at
Okay,
that.
gotcha, yep.
Those are rich names.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yep.
I said we wanted
my
little
dog's
dogs
name
with big
is
names.
after Adele. Her name is Adele.
Oh, fantastic.
Rolling in the deep.
Yeah. That's right.
Ba-da-ba.
All right, well, I know
Oh.
you probably got some more callers waiting, so thank y'all, gals.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, girl.
You're welcome. Have a great week.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And possibly another nothing right there.
I love that Lisa was kind of like, "Thank you, gals."
Gals.
It's like, girl,
Just
you
go
know we're
for it.
girls.
Just go for it.
We
I
got
think I feel like if Freddie and Christopher actually take our advice and try to, I think that's how it's going to be. The first couple times it's going to be, girl. I'm like, no, it's not a question mark. It's an exclamation point. Girl.
I still love that. I love the scenario of Sonny and Gabby seeing each other in Hortontown Square, and Sonny going, "Hey, girl."
I know, exactly. That's perfect. Well,
Oh,
it doesn't
that
look like
happens.
we have any more phone calls, and we probably need to go anyway. So,
Okay. Well, Mark J
that's it.
Freeman, what a great job you did today, lead hosting.
you know,
I mean,
it's
you're
the
okay.
same sitting over there.
And we
Just sitting
only
over here. I haven't sat over there in a while. I feel like
you said
Well,
over here
last
last week.
last week. It's been a while.
Girl. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounger with Tony or my website, loungerwithtony.com. And you can find us on our Edition Days social media on Instagram and Facebook. We are Edition Days. And on Twitter, it's _Edition Days. The ad is implied.
The at is implied.
And tweet us, like us, follow us, share us. We want more people
We want
watching
more
us
love.
live.
And thank you, Jamel, and Lisa for calling in.
Yes, and
We
thank you
always
to all those who
appreciate
tried
it.
to call in but didn't get through. And
Probably
we hope to talk
Susan
to you all
Ross,
soon.
Midley's daughter. Alexandra. I do believe.
Yes.
Alexandra.
Yes.
All right, you
All right.
guys. Thank you. We'll
Thank
be
you,
back
thank you.
next week to talk with with James Law Jr.
Yes,
Will
James
be
Law
here
Jr.
next
will
week,
be here next
where
week,
he wanted to
so-
come be a part of the first week of the Ron Carlivati writing.
So
he'll be here next week. So stay
we'll all
tuned.
be back. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Love
Have a
ya.
great week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.